Hello everyone and welcome to another Q&A, usually on a Friday. Today is probably, well, today for me is Saturday. This might not even be going up till Sunday. I apologize. I had a really emotional week where I basically confronted the idea of like Paige dying. Paige is alive. That's really like a whole other video that I think I will probably post soon because I ended up taking her to the vet. The short part of it, which I will eventually go into the long, is that Paige is 11 and a half and she's just changing. Like, she's not able to run around as much as she used to. She's having a difficult time like jumping onto the couch. There's been a couple times where she hasn't made it. There's been a couple times where she's like peed herself in her sleep, which is so unlike her. I think she's getting arthritic. She's just getting older, and I had to like really have this moment of like, she's not gonna live forever. And I knew that, I know that, but still it's always really hard when you really remind yourself of it. And I kind of just like sat with that realization for like 3 days this past week, which was not healthy. It included me like crying in a restaurant. But Paige is doing really well, and I will do a whole update on her health and kind of like talk all about it. But that's why I didn't post a Q&A on Friday, because I've just been a mess. By the way, I got this new puffy jacket and it's my favorite thing ever. So if I start doing regular vlogs on this channel, this is probably like, this is a part of me now, this jacket. So sorry. I don't even really need it here. The weather is incredible here this week. If I walk the dogs like before 9 a.m. then it's cold, but now it's just like gorgeous, so I'm gonna have to take this off in a minute. Okay, so I went on the last Q&A video and I got questions from the comments. My nose itches. Shadow Plays asks, if you could get a new animal, what animal would you get? Haha. Funny you should ask, Shadow Plays. So I've seen a lot of comments recently that are saying like, why don't you get another cat? Like, since Ragnar didn't work out, like, why don't you just go get another cat? And I'm really not, I don't see myself as having multiple cats. I think I got really lucky with Milquetoast because he's such an affectionate cat. He's almost like he's like a cat dog, because he is really affectionate and he licks me and he chases his tail. Like, I think he thinks he's a dog. If I could get a new animal, I would get another dog. And it's funny you should mention that. So when I was going through my like existential crisis of like, Paige is going to die eventually, and not like eventually, meaning like, you know, she could die tomorrow or she could die in 2 or 3 years, but it's probably going to be sometime in that vicinity. Unless I get really lucky and she lives for a very long time. But I just don't think that's going to be the case because of some of the things that I saw lately, which is what triggered my crisis. So I went through like 2 stages, and the first was like, this is horrible, I don't know how I'm gonna survive this. I got so worked up about it and I went to like such a dark place that I went like the complete opposite in my mind and was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get like tons of dogs. I'm gonna get like so many dogs that if one of them dies, it's gonna just be like, well, I got so many dogs to take care of, like, I gotta move on. Which in my head sounded like it made a lot of sense, but I realized that it's ridiculous. But it's what led me to looking again at like a shelter site. This was a shelter that was by my cabin. Moral of the story here, don't look at shelter sites that are not literally within close driving proximity of you. Because there was a dog there. She was just the cutest dog. She has a spinal issue. I called about her. They said that she was rescued from a reservation and she's likely had this spinal issue that has caused her to have like a wobbly behind. Now to me, I kind of think she probably was hit by a car and didn't get the proper medical treatment for that. And so to me, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm totally gonna get this dog and take it to the vet. So I emailed them, I explained the whole situation. I explained that like Molly over here cost me like, I don't know, $6,000 to like fix her when I rescued her. They were like, great. No one, she's been here a month, no one has really expressed interest in her. And I said, okay, awesome, can you send me a couple more pictures and I'll be up there in like 4 more days. And it was like, okay, I'm getting this dog. The dog looks like a coyote. Oh, Molly, you okay? Which I have coyotes here in the desert, and I was like, this is cool, I like this dog, hopefully everyone else will like this dog. And I'm just gonna get another dog, why not? I also have a tendency of when something's really stressful, like I have lots of deadlines, which I do right now because not only am I doing like my Advent series on my gaming channel, but I'm also under a book deadline that I'm just like, let's add in more stress. Like, why not get a dog that needs medical attention? Anyway, literally like 2 hours passed. They sent me more photos. I responded, thank you so much. And they wrote back, someone just adopted the dog. I was so mad. I have to stop putting myself through these like emotionally turbulent experiences because my heart cannot take it. It was like, great, you told me that they wouldn't like place a hold on her for me, but I don't know, I could have like made my dad go drive there and get her. I just hope that whoever adopted her takes her to the vet and sees if anything can be done for the condition, because I doubt it was something that just has been like from birth. I feel like I should probably do some like lighter videos in the future, but like this is just what happens when you are an animal rescuer. Like you have near misses like this and like heartbreak. I fully believe that when you're rescuing animals, it's just being in the right place at the right time. And you know, I can't fault someone else for going and rescuing a dog. Like, you know, I'm happy that the dog got rescued. And in reality, having 3 dogs and a cat and then having my dad's dog Polly come and stay with me as much as she does would be chaos. I kind of feel like I should do videos that go in depth about Paige, Molly, and Polly and Milktoast's rescue stories, because I feel like I've told the story so many times, but I don't know if I've ever really like in depth showed like photos and like talked about like the specific day and like how everything happened that I rescued that particular animal. So if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know below. But anyway, yeah, that's my weekly tried to rescue this animal and it didn't work story. So stay tuned for next week's. Oh, Shadow Plays also asks, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you want to live? Which is a super interesting question because I feel like I am set. Like I have my cabin and then I got this house for my mom and it's like a really cool place to come and visit and like get away from the nasty weather. Like I've said in previous videos, I've been living here for the last like 5 months because my mom was going through breast cancer surgery and treatment. So in the future, I plan to like do these Q&As up at my cabin with like my good camera, and this will just be like more her house that I will come and visit. But I think that's true. Like I think I'm set where I am. I like where I live in the 2 places that I can go and live. I have to say, like, part of me feels like if I'm dreaming, like if I'm like having my dream wishes come true, then maybe in like, you know, 10 years from now, I would have like a farm in Idaho, like my grandparents. Like an actual like 20 acres or more kind of a farm where I could have like any animal that needed to be rescued. Just like, hey, you got a horse? Just like, yeah, put it in my pasture. You know, oh, you got a donkey? Like, I'll take 2. But yeah, I would say maybe a farm in Idaho. I really, really love the American West. There's something to me so special about the mountains out here. And so that's just where I would live if I could live anywhere in the world. But if I had to choose somewhere outside of the US, which I've been very tempted to lately, I think I would probably move to Switzerland because there's a lot of mountains there. I not grew up, but for a little while when I was young, I lived in Germany and have traveled around Switzerland. And I think I would choose either there or maybe like Cotswolds area of England, somewhere like rural. I really, really like rural, and I can understand how people don't like rural if they're from rural. Rural is a really weird word. But as someone who grew up outside of Washington, D.C., who has spent a ton of time working in New York City, and then who lived in Los Angeles, and has just been kind of all over the world, I love farm country living. I think it's just simpler and I like it. Okay, we're like probably 20 minutes in and I've answered 1 question. Oh, this is a funny one. Eden Brooks asks, if you were gonna dye your hair any color other than your current color, what color would it be? And I get that question all the time because I think it's because so many women who play video games or like Minecraft have different colored hair. Like Tiffany has purple hair and Lizzie always has pink hair, and for a while like Yami had blue hair, and everyone's always like, what color would you dye your hair? And I'm always like, I'm gonna dye it brown, because I've seen a couple comments here in these videos saying that I look like I'm going gray. It's just the lighting, but there definitely are a few gray hairs that I have found, which is just a part of getting older. But anyway, that's always kind of my joke. But no, I think I would just go a shade darker because it's actually quite light sometimes at the top, and I like it. I think I would just go like a little bit darker. Oh, they also asked if I could bring any animal from a video game to the real world, what would it be? And it would definitely be Paganip. I really liked the comment on my last video that was like, I swear you're just gonna get a Pegasus named Paganip now. And like Pegasus don't even exist, but you just happen to get everything in Minecraft in real life, so it's gonna happen. New life goal, have a white horse named Paganip. Yeah. Okay, that's a new life goal. But see, I need a farm. Diva Sura Venkata, can you show us your book cover? Oh my goodness. So yeah, I totally spaced out that I never like announced my book, showed my book cover on this channel. It was always on my gaming channel because the book is loosely based around my Dogcraft series. So yes, I can totally show you the book cover here on this channel. Here it is. It is illustrated by this amazing, amazing illustrator named Vivian Toe. I am so happy with how it turned out. I don't think I've ever shown the back of the cover. So the three wolves that are on the cover are Wink, Everest, and Basil. But there are some wolves on the back cover if you are concerned that you are not seeing like Addison and Tucker and Noah. Did I say the title? I can't remember if I said the title. It's Wild Rescuers, Guardians of the Taiga. So the series, it's a series. Wild Rescuers is the series. Guardians of the Taiga is the title of book 1. It doesn't come out for a while. It comes out on June 5th of 2018. I'll be really excited when it actually is 2018 so I can say that it's coming out later this year instead of next year. It's gonna be a hardcover chapter book. There's interior illustrations. I'm so excited. So yes, that is the cover. I'll put the pre-order link in the description below. Oh, there's another question about it. It says, Tad Derp wants to know, do you think your book is too childish for older viewers? It's a good question. First of all though, I hate the term too childish because I think that that's just like depressing to think that, you know, my guess is that you yourself are not an adult, because I think when you become an adult, there's no such thing as too childish. Like when you're a teenager, you're very like, ooh, is that too childish? Like, I don't want to be too childish. And when you're an adult, it's like, no, being a kid is awesome. But I kind of get what you're saying. So to answer your question, I don't think so, because it's definitely like it's a chapter book. It's not a picture book. It's not written like for a specific age group. I think that the way that the publishing industry markets the books, it's in like the 8 to 12 demographic. But I think that I have people that watch Dogcraft who are 4 years old, and I have people who watch Dogcraft who are 30 years old. And I think that anyone would enjoy either having the book read to them or reading the book themselves. And I think just the artwork is gonna be so amazing. And of course, you guys know me, like I definitely didn't shy away from like using bigger words. That's very much still a part of the book. I personally think that it's something that all of my fans will hopefully enjoy. Irma asks, are you going to do Vlogmas this year? So obviously no, it's already like the 9th. I always get jealous this time of year of people who do Vlogmas because it's literally like your job this month is just to like celebrate Christmas like as much as you can, which is like, what? That's the coolest job. I have attempted Vlogmas in the past. I think that there's like so much footage that I have that I never even got around to posting. Like, did I ever post a time where I took my dad and my stepmom to like this performance of Home Alone where there was actually like an orchestra playing the music? It was incredible, and I don't think I ever posted that. I end up getting really, really busy around Christmas with my gaming channel because December is kind of the month where you want to post as many videos as possible, especially if you have an audience who's younger, who might be like, off of school on winter break. And then also just in terms of like YouTube advertising, December's always like a good month to actually, like, if you post a video on December 31st and you post that same video on January 1st and they get the same amount of views, you will make significantly less money on January 1st than you will on December 31st. And that's not to say that all YouTubers are just posting videos in December like to make tons of money, but I think lately, specifically with kind of like the questions that have been coming up in the YouTube community about like what's going on with sub boxes or what's going on with ad revenue. There's been all these things, and I think people are starting to really get concerned. So I think it's like a combination of wanting to put out a lot of videos in December and then also like just wanting to make your viewers really happy. That said, I usually put all of my time and energy into my gaming videos, and then I always have like these big ideas like I'm gonna get me and my dogs matching Christmas pajamas, and I'm gonna get them all presents, and I'm gonna put up a tree actually and decorate it with ornaments. And I never do. I always buy ornaments every year, and I never actually like just go get a tree. So I'm not doing Vlogmas, but I am going up to my cabin in a few days for the holidays. So I am like fingers crossed, like Stacy, just make the time, get a tree, vlog like a few days around Christmas Eve and Christmas. So we'll see. Angel the Beast asks, are you Mexican? What part of you is Mexican? So I am Mexican. I guess I consider myself half Mexican, but I guess I'm not really. So my father, his mother and father, I guess they weren't technically born in Mexico either. Like my grandfather was born in San Antonio, Texas, like in 1927. And you know, San Antonio, Texas in 1927 is very different than San Antonio now. Like it, for all intents and purposes, it's, he grew up speaking Spanish. English was his second language. The same goes for my grandmother, who died before I was born. So yes, it's my dad's side of the family, and I love that side of my family. I actually have a family Christmas party coming up on the 23rd, I think, and so maybe I'll vlog that too, and vlog with all of like my dad's side of the family. Really funny actually though, because I always used to ask my parents like, why didn't they name me after a family member? My name, Hinojosa, obviously is super Mexican, although so many people think it's Japanese. Originally, I was going to be named Stella, and then I was gonna have the middle name of Maria. Now that got changed to quite American, Stacy Marie Hinojosa, but I was almost named Stella Maria Hinojosa, which is like super pretty in my opinion. Kind of mad my parents didn't name me that. Sometimes I ask them like, why didn't you name me after like a relative or something? And my dad always jokes, because all of like the grandmothers and great grandmothers on my dad's side have like really traditional names that are definitely not what you would consider like American names, like Lupe and Tomasita and Sapopa. I could be Sapopa Hinojosa, but I'm not. Marissa asks, what is your favorite Gatorade flavor? Mine is Riptide Rush, and it's hard to find recently. Okay, the last question is from Unicorn Bob. You were invited to YouTube Rewind, but couldn't you have sent in a video of yourself for them to use? I seem to recall someone doing that in the past. Okay, so I'll tell the story. I'm not gonna be dramatic and entitle it like, why I wasn't in YouTube Rewind 2017. I chose not to be. YouTube very graciously invited me to be in it. They also invited me to be in it last year. I know a lot of you guys really want me to be in it. It's just not something that worked out either of the years. I don't live in Los Angeles anymore. I made the decision to move up here to be close to my grandparents and my parents and help them out, and I can't really do that if I'm constantly traveling. So I made the decision to go to Seattle and to work on the Hour of Code video with Microsoft, which has been an incredible experience actually, because I get so many messages from people who are doing it in their schools. I definitely like made a decision to do something like that, and then when YouTube Rewind invited me to come out to LA, it was like, you know what, I can't justify doing it. They usually invite you to 2 things every year if you're really, really lucky, which is Rewind and the Creator Summit. And the Creator Summit is in New York, and I've been invited to that twice, and I've gone both times, because I think it's really important to like show up and spend time with like the other people in the community, and like you get to talk about like the platform and the tools that are being introduced and like give feedback to them. And like, to me, that is just, I would not ever miss that. With Rewind, it's something that would be nice to be able to go do. It just didn't make sense. My mom was starting her first week of radiation when the trip was coming. She ended up doing really, really well in radiation, but there was no way for me to know that. I couldn't imagine being like, hey mom, like, have fun at radiation, like, all by yourself, and like, also can you like watch my dogs and my cat while I go, you know, shoot this video just for fun. And to me, like, I'm totally fine with that, because I know that in 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, I'm not gonna be like, oh, remember YouTube Rewind? I'm gonna say, I'm really happy that I was there and I drove my mom to her radiation treatment. Now they do have like a film from home option, and I almost don't wanna tell this story because I'm sure it was not intentional, but there were two options. There was like the holding hands option with someone, and then there was like a second option. I asked if I could do the holding hands one, and they said that you need to hold hands with another YouTuber, and since I was here in the desert, there weren't any other YouTubers that I could hold hands with. So then they asked me to do this one where like you film yourself like jumping, and then they like crop you and like move you. The viral video that it came from is like some video called something along the lines of like fat man jump, and it offended me. I'm sure it wasn't meant to. I'm sure that they offered it to lots of different people, but for me, I took offense. I'm not gonna recreate like the fat man jump fail. Like, what? Why on earth would I do that? It also was a little unfortunate when Rewind came out, and there were a lot of people that did the holding hands option that just did it with like their significant other and their children. I think it would have been cool if I had done it with my dogs. I'm sorry that I don't have like a husband or children to hold hands with, YouTube. Thank you for bringing that up. Anyway, I'm totally cool with it, guys. Like, it's not a drama. I just thought it was kind of funny. But this is obviously like, it's the same reason that I turned down going to this really cool thing in Sweden earlier this year, because I wanted to watch the eclipse with my grandparents on their farm, and that was like, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I was going to Sweden for the Minecraft creator camp, but I'm really, I feel like as I get older, I'm really more selective about what I do with my time. Okay, that is going to do it for today's Q&A. Hopefully next week's will be back on Friday. Leave questions below. You can also tweet me using just hashtag StacyQNA, and I will see you guys later. But until next time, Paige and Molly love you. Go rescue a dog.